This isn't just another smart scale. It's a complete body intelligence system used in over 12,000 health clinics worldwide, now available for your home. The moment I stepped on it and grabbed the handles, it sent safe electrical currents through my entire body, scanning and analyzing my arms, legs, and torso with 98% DEXA accuracy. What I discovered changed everything. While my weight hadn't changed, I'd actually lost 7 pounds of fat and gained 6 pounds of muscle. The body pod measured body fat, muscle mass, water, metabolic age, and 40 other metrics, showing me exactly how my body was responding to different diets, workouts, and routines. No more guesswork or frustrating plateaus, just precise data that showed me exactly where to focus my efforts. Because when you can truly measure everything, you can finally improve everything. That's why top doctors, dietitians, and elite athletes all swear by the Body Pod for accurate results. So I recommend you get your Body Pod now while they still have the special discount. That way, you can finally measure and improve the invisible changes your regular scale is hiding from you.
Who invites a husky guy to an outdoor summer wedding? It's like 100 degrees. Because I sweat a lot, I went to Men's Warehouse and got a suit with a special fabric called Chillflex that breathes and keeps me cool. Oh, even in these inhumane conditions. Oh, I'm on fire.
Whew. All right, let's get it. Come on. As one Crookshank, your one and only. Moose Swiftly speaker checking in for a daily. Moose Swiftly thought, giving your perspective on teamwork you will not get anywhere else. Where we do not teach you how to rise to the occasion. We teach you how to fall to your level of preparation. Hey man, it's gonna be weekends like that. You love the game. You love the game of football. You love your teams. You're loyal to your teams. They're gonna be weekends where it's L's across the board. Michigan L. My Washington Commanders L. My good counsel Falcons L. All right. Last night, it was a tough one, though, because the Commanders, we had this shit. We had it right in our hands. And our savior of the franchise, JD5, cost us with a very, very costly mistake, a costly fumble. And, hey, like I told you guys Sunday morning, got to wake up, got to go to work. Shrug those bosses off, baby. And coordinates on a Top 5 Tuesday. Top 5 reasons. Today we're going to break down the top 5 ways to properly mentally adjust. All right, properly mentally adjust. And I guess couldn't have come at a perfect time, seeing that all my teams took a fat ass L this weekend. You know, and again, the one that really stinks is the Monday night. Stayed up late to watch my Commanders just let it slip away in the last minute. They let it slip away because it's we're driving the ball, ready to go, ready to seal the game, and that fumble happens, and we gave the Bears the game. All right, let me focus. So top five ways to mentally adjust. Top 5 ways to mentally adjust. Number 1, you gotta do it on your time. All right, you gotta do it on your time. You gotta do whatever you gotta do. I go for runs and I get myself right with certain podcasts and all that. You gotta mentally adjust and deal with your shit on your time. Next thing you got to understand is what are the long-term benefits? What are the lessons? There's no losses, there's only lessons. Like, what are the lessons that you can take from whatever the L was or whatever it was that was infuriating you, that was bothering you, that was angering you? What are the lessons? Learn those lessons and make sure it doesn't happen again. Next thing, who else is going through the same thing? See, this is why athletics and sports and team sports are so special. It's because you can look to the man left to you, look to the man right, look to those men in the locker room and say, hey, man, I'm feeling it just the way you feeling it. But the bottom line is we got to go to work and we got to work through this thing together. That's why we as football players, that's why we have that teamwork. The one common thread amongst all of us as people who play the game, been involved in the game, we have that element, that concept of we got to work as a team if we want to get through these hard times. All right. So number 3, who else is going through it? Number 4, you got to be professional. All right. Learn how to be professional. You can't sulk in your own bullshit for too long. You got to be professional in regards to how you operate, how you interact with people to go about finding some sort of a solution. And Number 5 is avoid unnecessary interaction. This one was more specifically about the people that you work with. When you get into the working world and you're dealing with people, it's inevitable that you're dealing with people that you don't like. Yes, you have to work with people that you don't like. You have to be professional with people that you don't like, but you can avoid unnecessary interaction. I mean, me, myself, there's tons of people I work with right now that I can't stand. Again, I do my job and I get out of there. I don't interact with them in regards to what they want and how their weekend was and all that. No, we're not doing all that. It's just a straight work and get the heck up out of here. All right? So that's today's Top 5 Tuesday, top 5 ways to mentally adjust. And I'll dive deeper into all these points in the live stream in about an hour from this recording. Number 1, you got to do it on your time. So number 1, you got to do it on your time. Number 2, you've got to understand what the long-term benefits are. Excuse me. No losses, only lessons. You got to learn the lessons that are going to help you in the long term. Number 3, who else is going through something similar? Who else can you learn from that's going through something similar? Number 4, learn to be professional about it. Learn to be, don't be an asshole about it. Learn to be professional in regards to how you interact and how you present yourself and how you deal with certain situations. And number 5, finally, avoid unnecessary interactions with the folks that are the reason why it's causing a problem. The folks that are creating the issue, you got to avoid unnecessary interactions with them because that's what they want. They want interaction. They know personally that you don't like them personally, and what they want is they want to continue to interact because it validates their bullshit. Right? It validates what they're about. Avoid those unnecessary interactions with those folks. Keep it moving, and then just again, like I said for reason number 2, really think about the long-term benefits of what it is you're going through. So, all that being said, main website to check out to dive deeper into all my work, everything we specialize in employee development around here. It's makeyourmove.com. That's MakeYamove.com. One-stop shop for all your teamwork and your self-development needs. As one Crookshank,
all right, folks, as you guys just heard, as one Crookshank here, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, former Division I college football player and current 6-time published author and educator. And hey, like you heard, we take those L's. I stayed up a little later last night. I'm a big Commanders fan, huge. Well, I call them the Redskins, Commanders, whatever it is, to get some wins. I stayed up late last night and driving. We're about to win the game. And then again, a fumble happens and we lose on the last play of the game, the last second field goal by 1 damn point. All right. So forgive me if my energy is not as on point today, but when my team loses, not just they lost, but again, my Michigan Wolverines got that ass kicked this weekend. So when you go through those kinds of weekends, especially here, what we do here, just so you guys know, I created this whole business, whole brand that's all about taking the innovative teamwork lessons that you learn on the football field and applying them to businesses and business owners so they have a staff and or a group of employees that moves like that championship, like a championship high school or youth football team. When you take those L's, man, the next mornings are rough. But bottom line is I'm here. Bottom line is you got to wake up the next morning and get back to work. That's what employee development is all about. There's going to be some crappy days. You're going to deal with people that you don't like. The same people that you don't like is going to cost you all sorts of problems, and you're going to have to figure out ways to deal with it and work with people. All right. So if you're interested in all that, if you're interested in how to create that culture, create that mindset, create that grit, create that understanding amongst your employees, again, it's makeyourmove.com. All your options, all the information will be right there. In fact, the pre-orders of book number 6 will be available as soon as probably within the next week. I got the cover looking right. Everything is where it needs to be, and you can get a copy of that here on makeyourmove.com. All right, so all that being said, let's get into today's topic. Let's get into what we're going to be talking about today. Our Top 5 Tuesday, our top 5 ways to mentally adjust. And if you recall, yesterday, this topic came from the fact that last week, not even a full week ago, it's only 6 days ago now, where there was a situation I was living through just through work and just through dealing with several colleagues that had me infuriated, absolutely infuriated. And instead of getting on the phone with my girl or getting on the phone and venting to my mom, I stopped. I didn't do that. I didn't take the opportunity. The opportunity was there for me to do it, and I know they're willing to listen. But there was a self-growth and inner something that was working within me at that time that told me, you know what, they have their own lives, they have their own situations, they have their own things that they need to go through. And if I'm going to be the man in their life that I want to be, I don't have the luxury. I got to fight this urge to do that and figure out how to vent and deal with my own shit. Right. So what I did, and again, if you go back to yesterday's lives, you'll hear when I said I did this, but I took a couple laps around a Walgreens, screamed, cursed, yelled it out, I got it all out. And I felt a whole lot better. And it made me realize the positives and the benefits that come with what it is I had to live through. So it actually became, like I just said, it's not necessarily losses, it's actually lessons. There's no losses in life. There's actually lessons. And if you do the steps, what we're going to discuss today, and I want to give myself about 10 minutes here. If you take the steps that you need to take now, today, you will be able to do the same thing. There's a process towards this. This is not something that's going to happen overnight, because the world pushes you in a direction where you're forming cliques. The world pushes you in a direction where you're using other people to help you or benefit you, to make you feel better. That's what the world wants to do. That's the natural order of the world. You have to fight against that. You have to fight against that and figure out how to start developing and thinking about, how do I put some things in my own mind? How do I start working within so I can start resolving my own issues? So that way, when I run into the people I do care about, you and those people can be talking about future and the solutions and what it is you want to become, and not just about your problems right now. Right? That's your job to do. That's for you to do. All right. It's not for anybody else to do. All right. So all that being said, let's jump right into today's article. And again, these articles that I write on Medium, so book number 6, How to Be a Wintrepreneur, they're going to be compiled of these articles. There's hundreds of them now. And there's a difference. A lot of you, again, if you're a reader, you know there's a difference between reading a book, like physically reading a book, and reading the book online. So if you are following me on medium.com, be sure to let me know. There will be a discount for you, the people who follow me on medium.com. Or if you're not, make sure you do. And so that's primarily where you're going to be able to see all my writing and stuff like that. So medium.com @Move Swiftly. All right, here we go. Top 5 ways to mentally adjust by Aswan Cruikshank on the Move Swiftly platform. Yes, this picture, I think it was about a year ago. I took a little over a year ago. I took this picture at a boxing gym. I'm a boxing trainer. All right, so I spent some time, 4 years as a boxing trainer at 9 Round. I still do it when I have the time to do it. I can still do it. I've attempted to get it back open, but it requires me being there. I'm more so focusing on, the public speaking and doing things via online and having an online presence. The issue with me is just so many different things I got going on that trying to be there physically with certain things, it has to be a lot more better planned out than I have. But we'll that's another conversation for another day. But the reason I put that as the image is because when you're talking about mentally adjusting, there's nothing like hitting a punching bag. There's nothing like going up into a boxing gym and letting it all out and just releasing that. Again, I've gotten that out of people. So that's why this image is today. All right. So here it is. I'm reading it directly from the article, guys. So, and here we are, another Tuesday on the Move Swiftly platform. This week, we're talking about the best and most respectful ways to mentally adjust. And when I say respectful, I mean both respectful to your time and respectful to the time of the people you love. Let's be clear. I'm not telling you to never be upset. What inspired this entire theme was actually a very angry moment I had with myself. When I am what I am telling you is how to take that anger and process it in a way that's productive. Here are the top 5 ways to mentally adjust. Number 1, you see it right there. Your time. Your time. Your time. Okay, your time is your currency, right? You need to do it on your time. You need to mentally adjust on your time. You have got to do this. If you're not doing it, it's going to show when you run into other people. All right. So yes, do whatever you can on your time. That doesn't mean you can't tell your loved ones about things that have bothered you or affected the relationship. It just means that when you do, you should make it clear that you've already processed it and come up with a solution. That's the difference. See, right there's the difference. you can reach out to people, the people that are willing to listen to you. That's great. But it should be clear to the person, whoever's listening to you, that you've come up with a solution to whatever the problem is that you're having, or else you're just venting and you're not actually getting anywhere. All right. So for example, this past week, I had to come to terms with that. I had to come to terms with what my new promotion at work really entailed. The trade-offs meant working with a group of people whose incompetence is let's just say not hidden. Again, I cleaned it up a little bit, but when you get promoted in any job or you get asked to do more than what you were doing before, the incompetence of the people that you were working with before, it becomes absolutely apparent how incompetent some of these folks are. All right. I won't mention any names, but this is just true with anybody who gets a promotion. The trade-off to more money and a better salary, a more quote unquote comfortable salary, is you have to, that mental drain in terms of dealing with the folks who are incompetent and only care about themselves. That mental drain is exactly what you'd be trading off. All right. So you just got to accept that. That's something I'm learning as I go. So instead of venting to my inner circle out of frustration, I took time to work through it privately. That's what I was dealing with. I had to work through that privately. And when I did talk about it, I presented a plan. I'm going to perform so well. And this was the plan. All right. So when this is the process of me venting to myself and doing it on my time. And this is what I actually thought of after all of it was done, is I'm going to perform well enough that I eventually earn a say in who gets hired. See, that's the journey. When you get that promotion and you get into a situation where you're dealing with folks who are incompetent, now you got to work so hard, perform so well at what you do, that eventually you get a situation, or you get to be in a position where you have a say in who gets hired and who doesn't get hired. That's what you have to do. That's the mentality that you have to take. All right. So that mindset shift only happened because I first took the time to cool off on my time. All right. So that's number one, is you have to do it on your time. Number two, who else is dealing with the same problem? Put it up real quick here. Who else is dealing with the same problem? There's somebody out there that has the same exact problem you have. I can guarantee it. There's not one new problem you can have. All right. This is where the digital world becomes your ally. There was a time when learning how others handled similar challenges meant picking up a book and reading it cover to cover. Not anymore. Now with YouTube, podcasts, social media, there's always someone out there who's faced and solved the same problem you're dealing with. When I was having so this is a true story now. So when I was having constant disagreements last Wednesday, and I told you guys about this yesterday. So last Wednesday, when I was having constant disagreements, I mean, it was a full day from 8 a.m. all the way to damn 10 p.m. of me arguing with women. I was having constant disagreements with women. The next day, my mother sent me a Kevin Samuels video, and we laughed hysterically. Not because everything he said was perfect, but because it reminded me to step back and look at things from another angle. Sometimes you just need to know you're not alone in your frustration, and someone else's experience can give you clarity. And that's what that did. And then she had no idea that I was dealing with it. But the fact that she sent it to me, and I remember telling her too, because I had called her, the fact that you sent it to me during that time was like, oh, it was much needed, man. We shared a great laugh, which is important. It's important that you do that. It's very, very important that you do that, because it wasn't forced. It wasn't me calling my mom, this one doesn't do this, this one. No, it was her just, randomly seeing something online, sending it to me, and it becomes something that actually, helped me feel a little better in the moment. All right. So that's the second thing, is somebody else is dealing with the same shit you're dealing with. All right. Now, number three, how are you benefiting long term? Every conflict, every disagreement, every mentally draining moment, it's either teaching you something or building something in you. I'm going to repeat that sentence again so you are clear. All right. Every conflict, every disagreement, every mentally draining moment, it's either teaching you something or building something in you. When I'm forced to work with people who try to silence me or downplay my ideas, I remind myself to look for the long-term benefit. For me, it was hearing incompetence has taught me patience and timing. I can call it out more effectively at the right moment. The quicker you identify the benefit, the faster your anger transforms into focus. Just so we're clear, all right. Just so we're clear, the second the fact that the people try to silence me and keep me from actually giving my input, it allows me to see the incompetence in them quicker. I can call it out, I can see it, I can nail it, and then I can now figure out solutions for it. That is the things that I'm going to need personally as we move forward and as you get better. And I'm telling you this because as a regular consumer, as business owners, you need to have this ability to recognize incompetence when you see it and hear it. I don't care what the degree says. I don't care what school you went to. I don't care what license you have. Incompetence is absolutely very, very clear when you see it. All right? And you got to be able to call it out. All right. That's number 3. Now, number 4, in that same sentence, you got to be professional. All right. You got to be professional because it can be very frustrating. It can be very frustrating dealing with it and seeing it in the moment to the point where you can't expect a professional tone when you're emotional and when your emotions are running high. So I get it. It's a tough one. When emotions are running high, professionalism is the last thing on your mind. But trust me, the ability to stay composed, even when others don't, opens doors that you don't even see yet. People are always watching. You never know who's paying attention to your composure, your tone, or your patience. And as I often tell my students and workshop participants, in every room, your professionalism is your resume before your resume. Okay. Your professionalism is your resume. That's the resume right there. Before you actually give a physical piece of paper, you got to have a professionalism about you in the way you conduct yourself, in the way your presence is. And then your resume starts to mean something. It doesn't mean shit if it's just something on paper and you just decide you're gonna act the way you want to act. No, you gotta be somewhat professional in regards to how you conduct yourself. All right. So number 4, big one is be professional. Now, number 5, as you just heard on the Move Swiftly thought, avoid unnecessary interactions. See, the thing about being professional and doing the necessary things, okay, is, let me get this up here, is the folks who you don't want to associate with. Those are the folks that have so much to say. Those are the folks that try to find every single reason to interact and talk to you and this, that, and the third, because they're looking for answers. They're looking for something. It's like grasping at straws to where they're just trying. It's like a kid who is just looking for attention when you just said, you know what, you don't want to do it, I'm moving on to somebody else. They're trying their best to get attention. So this one speaks for itself. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. When you're surrounded by chaos, confusion, and constant negativity, your energy gets hijacked. Not every conversation deserves your contribution, and not every person deserves your presence. Sometimes the best adjustment you can make is distance. Avoid it. This is what they do. This is what starts happening. Is what I deal with every single day. Is there's a sense that, hey, this person knows a certain thing and they're just getting away and they're going to try their best to interact with you. You have to do your best to avoid these interactions because those are the things that drain you the most. All right. So final thought, mental adjustment is not about pretending everything's fine. It's about having an emotional discipline to manage what's not. You don't owe anyone your peace of mind, but you do owe yourself the maturity to protect it. All right. So work it out privately, grow publicly. Action step, as always, go to makeitmove.com. Ask all about our employee development workshops. We specialize in employee development here. Again, this is what we do. Make sure you inquire about the new book that's going to be dropping. The pre-orders should be dropping within the next couple of days. As one Cruikshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.